Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tailboard Misfits podcast. I'm your host, Heath Meredith, joined by my co-host, Gunnar Michelle.
What's up?
All right, y'all. We're doing a little double take on today, trying to knock out more than one episode today. So we just wanted to let y'all know we're trying to put all this together. As you can tell, we're now on video podcast, working on getting all that put together. We got a YouTube channel that's being launched. We just have to add our content to it. Still on Spotify, still on Apple Podcasts, still on Google Podcasts, and it is growing like crazy.
Like a motherfucker.
It's nuts. The outpour, the DMs, the constant ads we've been getting, it's been fucking awesome. And it's just continuing to grow. The last audio show that we did, we had my buddy Sean Black on here, Battalion Chief, and talked a lot about his views on leadership, manhood, every aspect of manhood that he's encountered in his career and everything. And we kind of brought that all on, brought him on and kind of talk about all the hot topics and start breaking the ice on some of that stuff so we could build further into this Morals and Manhood series that we're running. We also talked a little bit on the last video podcast about some of the programs that we're launching, to go hand in hand with the apparel, the podcast. Now going to be looking at going into some different business ventures and bringing other misfits on that are in line with our brand and letting them kind of come in underneath the brand and expanding whatever talents and stuff that they have in the business world and everything like that, to give them a means to earn a little bit more income on the side where they're not completely reliant on their fire department payroll and whatnot. We also letting everybody know we started a Facebook group. So we have the original podcast page, but we also now have a group for everybody to get on there and jump on. It's a forum based, talk about the struggles that you've gone through, talk about, good times that, you've had where like maybe you and your department, your union, whatever, the guys kind of stood up for what was right, did the right thing, and you ended up prevailing in the end. All that because, as this whole movement is growing and we're seeing there is a ton of misfits out there.
No, absolutely, man.
It's to the point where I'd even say we're the majority.
Oh, yeah, we are. And there's no reason for us not to be taking this shit over.
That's exactly right. And getting shit where it has a good moral compass again, where it's not all about money and not all about corruption and politics and all that kind of shit. So, y'all go on there and join that group. It's linked with the Tailboard Misfits page on Facebook. Keep checking us out on Instagram. Gunner's real good about he's putting reels on there, and we're starting to expand, especially with this video. We're going to be able to just fucking launch this shit.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. We're just kind of waiting a little bit on the apparel to still get here. We're waiting on it. It's coming in, just not fast as we'd like for it to. But anyways, that's kind of what we got going on right now, and we're just going to do another little Morals and Manhood episode. Probably going. What do you think? We would call this one a little Fatherhood and Finances and fucking or something
like that.
But we're just going to hit some hot topics, as far as for manhood and shit like that. I think we can start with just finances. Everybody in the fire service is getting hit. It used to be preached all the time to guys when you come in the fire department, you're never going to get rich doing this job. I think that's kind of been lost in translation throughout the last several years. Everybody wants to come in and have the badass schedule where you work 10, 12, 15 days a month, whatever it is, but you're not working a normal 8 to 5 gig. So you do have a good bit of free time. Everybody's getting their first good salary job. So they want to go out and first thing right out of the bag, everybody buys a new truck. We joke about it, but drive past the fire station. I'm guilty of it. Gunner's guilty of it. Everybody we know has got, some nice trucks, got boats, 4-wheelers, whatever, name it, they got it. And, what that kind of speaks to Gunner and I, we totally understand, because when you come out of high school and, you're working your ass off, maybe you had another job, blue collar job or something beforehand, and either you were making good money or you weren't making good money. Myself, I worked in the oil field. I was making badass money. So I had some badass shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, then you go to work in the fire department, income gets cut damn near down to 25% of what I was making. And I still had all those bills. And, I know that's a struggle that everybody has to deal with. Housing is through the fucking roof. Trucks, everything is through the roof right now as far as what it costs compared to what we make. And the fire service itself hasn't really seen a significant increase in payrolls in decades.
No, not at all.
I
And
mean,
it's a lifestyle change, a complete lifestyle change.
completely. And more aspects than one. I mean, you're everything from the money that you're bringing in to you're not home every night to just overall the sacrifice that you have to be willing to do on the job. I mean, fire service it's not easy, and it's a lifestyle though. It's a choice. Everyone that's in this business is doing it because they want to. Nobody's holding a gun to your head making you do this shit.
Yeah, I would say that the job is easy. The lifestyle of the fire service is not easy.
No, I could completely agree with that. It's not complicated.
No, it's not complicated. That's probably better.
It's not complicated. I think people are overcomplicating a lot of shit, trying to rewrite shit to try to, put their spin on stuff to either make money or try to make their impact or whatever. But yeah, it's not that it's complicated in that aspect. But yeah, the long fucking shifts of getting your ass hammered, on the med unit or whatever, or long ass fires that you're extended and called in for overtimes, storms, wildfires, you name it. It's out there. And yeah, it's a sacrifice on you and your family.
Yeah.
As far as a whole. I mean, unless you do a side business or something like that where you're able to generate some pretty good income, I mean, your quality of life is not going to be a doctor or lawyer's quality of life. And
you can make it.
You can make it. Yeah, you can absolutely, as long as you're willing to get out there on your days off and put the work in, but you're not going to do that shit on a fucking salary job.
And that's why, going into this finances deal, and especially people my age aren't as educated with finances like how I am. Because I'm a big finance guy.
Yeah, you're a student of it for sure.
Yeah, so man, and that's what that's something you also don't preach to your rookies and stuff is how to manage your finances or how to invest, and not just investing into your pension, but starting an IRA or go to Everest Jones and set up some mutual funds or whatever that you want to do. And that's something that everyone should be doing. And that's my opinion. I take it for what you want, but that's what I think they should be doing.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that pension's not guaranteed. Even that other stuff's not guaranteed. I'd even go further to say everyone should be investing in real estate. Personal opinion, but
yeah, I mean and really as far as even that goes, it's hard when you got a $45,000-$50,000 a year job. It's hard to go out and buy real estate.
Exactly.
I mean, everybody I think is so caught up on financing, and I did it. I mean, at one point I had over $2,000 a month just in damn vehicle notes, and that wasn't shit. Like, that was easy. And this was 10 years ago when truck notes were $500-$600 maybe, or even less. But I had four vehicles in my driveway. And looking back, that shit's a hardship.
Mm-hmm.
Even fast forwarding a little bit, whenever I had my first big house that I bought and all this kind of stuff, had 2 brand new vehicles, had a house, and everything was Cadillac as long as I had 2 incomes coming in. Well, ended up going through divorce and this, that, and the other. The environment in my fire department was completely fucking toxic. Well, I was so married to those bills of having to try to keep the house and keep the truck and all this kind of stuff that I had zero freedom. I mean, I had to sit there and swallow whatever kind of bullshit was getting thrown my way just to keep the job. If not, repo man's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I've already been down that road. At one point we were way overextended. I've driven a truck up to the bank and turned the keys in and said, I can't make the notes. I'm not running from the repo man anymore. I can't do it. And I don't want to see anybody else have to go through that kind of shit. So people are going to have to be a lot smarter.
Yeah.
It's taken me, being the age I am now, in the last probably 5 years, I've started trying to be a whole lot smarter with money. I've learned what I can learn and everything like that. I've downsized, I really tried to make my bills accordingly. And that's because I went through that, I'm having a new 4-wheeler. I'm having a new side-by-side, brand new fucking motorcycle, house, brand new vehicles, blowing and going, man, blowing and going. And all I was doing was working like a full-time job, had another full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working 2 full-time fire jobs. And then it's like, oh, hey, can you work overtime? Yeah, I'll work overtime. Or, at one point I had a part-time EMS job that I ended up working. I mean, it just snowballs where you're having to work your full-time plus a duty crew job plus maybe another full-time. And then you're never off. You got all this cool shit sitting in the driveway, and you can't do nothing
Yeah,
with it.
exactly.
And that in turn, it creates. Sean talked about a little bit. That ends up making problems at home.
Mm-hmm.
You end up having the financial problems, lead to marriage problems, lead to just a bad road that you're gonna. It's a huge snowball effect.
Yeah.
And there's no worse feeling than literally being like to the point where, yeah, you have all this stuff, but it's like, shit, don't really have enough money to go to the grocery store. Don't really have enough money for fuel to get to work. So you're going and getting payday loans that have like a fucking astronomical interest rate on them just to get back to work. Been there, done that. Don't recommend that shit to anybody.
That scares me.
Oh, it was fucking terrible. I mean, at one point I was having to go get like a $250 payday loan or whatever to have the fuel to get back to work and then buy my groceries when I was at work. I mean, it's you can spend that shit faster than you can get it.
Yeah.
And people, I know people know that, but you're going to have to come down to a point where you're just like, all right, enough's enough. I got to start looking at my life or what I got coming in. So, I mean, like one of the things that Ashton and I, we do well majority of the time. Now, we do have kids, so kids are expensive. Mm-hmm. And our kids do all kinds of stuff. But, one of the things that we try to do, so she and I's first checks of the month, because, she's a nurse as well. So we are fortunate in that. We both have a decent income. All of our bills are paid out of my first check and her first check. All that. So we have, basically 2 whole checks, which I understand everybody doesn't have that. But you just say you're a single income just as a firefighter. You need to base your bills, truthfully, where all your bills can be paid with one check.
That would be nice.
I mean, I know that's a hard stretch, but these younger guys, half of y'all are living at home with your parents anyway. Mm-hmm. I mean, how many guys do we know that work with us down there? They're all still at home.
All still babies.
So, yeah, they got trucks. They have a new truck, whatever. Well, between that and your grocery bill, your cell phone bill, and your insurance, if you can't pay all that shit with one bill, then you're overextended.
Yeah, I truly believe that. And that's the thing. Buying a truck is the last thing that you need, or buying a brand new truck. Yeah. Especially, you're 18, 19 years old, do what you want. I'm not trying to preach anything, but I mean, personally, I would never do that.
I'm not going to do it now.
Before you have before you have a house, before you have structure in your life, but growing up, I ain't going to lie. I always had somewhat nice stuff, but I was 14, 15 and I was working a job. I started a mowing business and I was making some pretty good money and I could afford all the bills that I wanted. And, and I didn't want to go spend it on other stuff. I like to always buy something I can show for my money. At a vehicle at that age is kind of all you really can show for your money.
For sure. I mean, I had a brand new truck.
Yeah. So, but 18 is though, that's your manhood now. That's when you start looking at, land and a house and trying to find your wife and everything like that.
Or you think.
And one thing I wish I would have done though is growing up is saving money for me to go travel and do things, that's something I really didn't enjoy life. I worried about money so much. I wanted to save so much money that I didn't go and enjoy the finer things in life that you can say. And that's what I'm trying to do on the back end. And it's still hard. My wife gets mad at me. It's still hard for me to spend money on a trip because it's money that I know is just gone away and I can't make that money. Like I can make it back, but like my money's not going to be, I'm not spending money to have money returned to me. Right. Be like an investment. And so it's hard for me to still do it. I'm not going to lie.
See, but that is what my wife and I splurge on. Like, I mean, we live very below our means with, a little small house and all that kind of stuff. But that's one thing we splurge on. Like she and I go on our weekends and we go, we pay cash for everything, but we go. Like we want to pack up and go to the beach for, a few days. We do. We want to go anywhere. Shreveport, Dallas, anything we want to do, go to hill country, all that. That's what we do. That is where we splurge. Everybody's we get asked on Facebook, oh, it must be nice. How y'all always going on these trips? You're always on the road. You're always doing this. It's like, that is literally where we spend our money on, where y'all have a bunch of shit sitting in your driveway, boats, RVs, side-by-sides, all that kind of stuff. Come drive up my driveway. I don't have none of that. And that is what we splurge on now. But that's a decision that we make, because that's the stuff that you remember.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had so many damn vehicles in my life, all brand new.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you. I tried to count the other day of how many I've had since I was 16. And I'm like, damn, okay. And you're going through, you don't remember that shit.
Mm-mm.
You don't remember, but you
That's
remember,
true.
you remember the trip to Gatlinburg, or you remember the trip to Broken Bow. You remember the trip to San Antonio. So that's how we view things.
Dude, that's a good perspective. It really is.
Because you can always buy some more shit.
It's true,
but
you can't buy time back.
You can't buy time back, and I mean, my wife and I, that's something that we like to do. So that's what we do. That's kind of where we splurge. But there's times too, like, we just had this big rodeo weekend and everything, and that shit ain't cheap.
I know that ain't cheap.
No. So we just went and did that with the kids, and that's how we build our memories with the kids, is going and doing with the kids rather than provide them a bunch of shit.
Yeah. All that shit's perishable.
It's
going to come and go.
It absolutely is. And when you think about it, so the first truck I bought, I bought it when I was 15. I think I just turned 15. Bought a brand new. No, I was younger than that. It was a 2003, brand new 2003 Chevrolet Z71. At the time, what was fully loaded. I bought that bitch brand new for $15,000. That same fucking truck today, and you're talking about just a little less than 20 years later, that same truck today is about $70,000. And you know what has not changed? Firefighter pay.
Yeah, that's what's crazy.
I mean,
it's astronomical.
And that's what a lot of guys don't understand, because they see all that, everybody, get a new truck, this, that. And I understand that, but you have to think about the very basic on this. If your salaried job is paying you $50,000 a year, $45,000 a year, whatever, and you're buying a truck that's $70,000 or $80,000, that's damn near double what you make a year for a truck. When 10 years ago, that same truck was $40,000. Mm-hmm. And then from about 10 years ago and further back, it was way less. So, I mean, just the I guess inflation is what you call it, on trucks, cars, all that kind of shit. Just in the last 15 years, it's insanity. Now everything, they literally cater and want you to finance everything. Mm-hmm. Hell, your damn cell phone. You can't walk into AT&T and buy the sumbitch out because they want to offer it to you on like 4 different programs to pay it out by the month. And it's essentially, I mean, that's what it is. It's financed. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's the culture that you're living in. And there's a lot of people out there that preach, debt's a good thing. Debt's a good thing when it's in investment shit that is creating you cash flow, or you can sell and make a shitload back.
Yeah.
But even so, like this house, it's beautiful and has, a lot of equity in it. But the only way you get your money back on it is by having to sell it.
Yeah, exactly. Still, as of right now, it's a liability.
Right. Because you can't sell it because I know where it is, and you're gridlocked just like I'm gridlocked. Yeah. You can't go nowhere there because it's on family land. Mm-hmm. So it's here and it's beautiful and you're not going anywhere. No. But people are like, well, a home is an investment. Yes, it's an investment, but you can't get a return on it unless you sell it.
Exactly. And that's hard to preach. And that's why I recommend a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yes. That's a great book. I've really enjoyed that one. And we're going to we're trying to educate people. So, if people think we're giving shout outs, whatever, we're not, necessarily, we're not getting a kickback for anything, but these are things that have helped Gunner and I, whether it's on leadership or whatever, we're going to start at, kind of necessarily plugging people, but giving tips of stuff that people need to go read, because people just, maybe they don't know what kind of literature and stuff is out there. So they're either going to have to take somebody's word for it or listen to bullshit that people, influencers or whatever are putting on Facebook and Instagram. And most of those people are
the fucking world's worst.
Yeah.
I mean, they're making smart money moves, but kids and stuff are looking at these people as gods and like they're, and they're definitely living a life in their means because, they're marketing and making their brand and stuff. But the kids are not seeing that portion. They just see they're living this lavish lifestyle and want to go live it and but they're not probably morally living right. But
no, and they're not firefighters.
No,
I mean, a lot of these people, they're either starting up with way more money than you'll ever have as a firefighter for a startup, or they're not necessarily they don't have the same constraints as say a firefighter does as far as the abilities to. If you're a firefighter and you're working in said city, you really can't leave that city to go to a booming economy in another state unless you're going to give up your fire career and go chase that. Which if that's what you want to do and you're going to be successful, then by all means, that's fucking awesome. Do it because that's going to give you the lifestyle that you want, your family, the lifestyle that they want and need, deserve, everything like that. But we just understand, like coming from small town East Texas, your your workforce is not that big.
No.
Guys ask us,
right now.
yeah, guys ask us all the time, like, because Gunner drives about an hour and a half. I drive about 2.5 hours one way. And we do, like, he does that on his shift, and then I do it every day that I'm on shift. I spend about 5 hours in the car every day going to work. And people ask you all the time, like, well, why are you doing that? Well, there's no work. I mean, we literally live in the woods. It's either go work, which, not knocking on anybody, but it's essentially minimum wage jobs here, or you work at one of the schools or the hospitals. That's it. Fire department jobs for us. There's 2 paid departments within an hour of us. Everything else is hour and a half, 2 hours away. And those 2 departments, they of course have their own issues, everything going on, turnover rate or whatever, or pay. I mean, the pay is not that great. So it's just really like, we understand everybody has struggles on wherever you work. If you work in one of these big, metropolitan areas that there's a lot of fire departments to choose from, then consider yourself blessed.
Yeah. And they make a lot of money over there.
They make a lot of money. And we also understand the caveat to that shit is, you make a whole lot more than say we would in these smaller towns, but y'all's cost of living is a whole lot higher. So, I mean, everything has use Jocko's word, everything has a dichotomy to it. But anyway, we just, we want people to really start thinking about the finances, because everything that we're, with this movement that we're trying to build and grow upon is the ability to say, fuck when shit's not morally right. And to be able to live by principles and everything like that. Well, in the last 10, 15 years, everything's become such a financial constraint on firefighters. You don't have that ability. We know you don't have that ability. So for us, this is our way of trying to educate. Like, you just really have to start thinking smarter on your finances. And I mean, like, the biggest tool I can think of is new coming in. Now, if you're like me or whatever, been around, you already have the established bills. You're going to have to get smart. You're going to get smart on your days off. Build yourself a budget. Build your family a budget. Instead of going out to eat all the time, which I know sucks because I hate meal prepping, but try to do a little meal prepping, or at least fix a big meal. Like, one thing that Ashton does, and I love it, and it's actually funny because I fucking hated roast growing up, but she'll make the crock pot roast, whatever, with all the stuff on it, and then I'll take that to work for 2 or 3 days. Well, that saves me and my brother, that saves us $30-$40 a day, because we're not having to order DoorDash or stop on the way to the plant and get food. I mean, that's a pretty significant hit, especially with the cost of fuel going up. So, like, when we started working down there, I started working down there with you, it cost me like $30 to fill my car up. Now it's $50, and that's a day. So, like, that's a whole other aspect. We're spending $50 a day in fuel to go to work every fucking day. And then you start talking about adding, $20 a piece, $30 a piece, $40 a piece in meals a day. That shit adds up. Well, now you're going to work for free. You're not bringing home that much anyway, after taxes and all that kind of stuff, which we can get hit on the tax shit. But, that's something that's helped us out, is the bringing the food. Yeah. At a fire station, you have the ability to cook. I don't know. What do y'all do at your station? Y'all go to the grocery store and come back and cook?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Every weekends, we normally go out and have a big family, dinner, whatever. And on Fridays, I think food trucks come out, and we normally go do something like that. But majority of the time, we cook, and I cook.
Yeah, you're a big meal prepper. That's I've ate out your bowl a few times. Yeah. We were starving and didn't have time to go anywhere. Hey, Gunnar, what you got over there?
Turkey and rice, baby.
Oh man, that one that you did, and you put the crawfish seasoning in it.
That was good. Yeah,
that shit was good. But I mean, that's one little thing. Just people start eating, eating smarter. It's not hard. It's not complicated. No. It's not as good as going and sitting at a Mexican food place and all that. I mean, that's my kryptonite. Chips and queso is the damn devil. But do little things like that. But I would say the closer you can get to basing all of your monthly bills into one check, the way better off you're going to be. Because I'd say on average, probably most checks around $1,500 bring home twice a month. So you're looking at $3,000. If you have a $1,500 a month truck note because you just financed a $70,000 truck, That leaves you $1,500 a month to fucking do everything else on. That's insurance. Insurance is $300 a month. Cell phone, $200 a month. Whatever. If you got some kind of other plan, that's still at least $100 a month. Then you have a house, apartment.
In apartments these days, you just can't afford it.
I think I read the other day, like average rent on an apartment's like $2,200 a month.
Dude.
For nationwide.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm like, fuck.
Dude, that's more we pay on the damn house.
Yeah.
They built it.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no, and that's why guys are working second jobs, third jobs, fourth jobs. They're literally going boom, 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 fire department. Like we talked about with Sean, that personally, that's what I did. And I think that's what created a lot of my fucking burnout on shit. Because you just can't be in a station that much. You can't go that many years without, adequate, not full nights of sleep and just all that kind of shit.
It's literally killing you. I mean, it's your mental health and everything else for the cortisol levels that are eating your body away. It's not healthy.
And my cortisol levels are through the roof. They have been for years.
Yeah, and it's not healthy. And one of the biggest stressors in every family is finances.
Yeah.
Is financial, problems. And that's where, man, I've always been smart. I had a very good dad that, educated me on finances and stuff like that, and they did it right. But so I can't really speak on a lot of this behalf. I can tell you what I've done, but I can't tell you the struggles. I struggled a little bit actually when I first got in the Marines, because then I was spending a stupid amount of money before I went on my deployment. Just do the party.
Yeah, try to live it up.
Yeah, try to live it up. And that was kind of a rough time. But after my first deployment, I was pretty financially set, and then I did touch that money, waiting the next 6 months before I deployed again. I kind of spent every dime, but I didn't have no notes there. I mean, I had a Jeep note and a phone note, and that's it.
Right.
And insurance, but that cost me maybe $1,000 a month altogether. And so I had about $1,000 more to spend on drinking.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it adds up. It just adds up so quick. And I just don't, I always looked up to Sean. That was one thing that he pointed out to me a long time ago, was about the vehicle. Cause like he kept his wife in like a nice Tahoe, Suburban, something like that. And then he just had that old truck that was paid for. I mean, there is not a damn thing wrong with it. I mean, the paint's faded, but shit, it's like 15 years old. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And looking at it now, if you can find a way to save your money up, whatever, and pay cash, or buy a used truck, they're not all super fancy with all the damn bells and whistles, but when it's sitting at a station anyway, because you're working 3 jobs, what fucking difference does it make what's sitting in the parking lot?
Exactly.
I mean, literally. Like, okay, so you want to look good for your 30-minute commute? Like, what the fuck? I mean, that makes no sense to have a $1,200, $1,400, $1,500 note sitting there in the parking lot of the fire station because you're working 2 jobs. It's
sickening.
Yeah, it's sickening. It's not smart thinking.
No. But also this, I want to speak on a little bit about entrepreneurship. Guys, like, that is something y'all, I'm sure a lot of y'all have ideas, and things that you could do or things that you want to do in order, to make money. Dude, you got to take some risks.
For sure.
Yeah, I really, if I can motivate you in any way, it's just to do it. Quit talking about it and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, if you get so focused on a business or anything like that, you're going to be more focused on that and not doing, kind of your non-necessary things of doing, partying or drinking or whatever. You're focused on this business, you're building this stuff, and you want it to succeed, and you are investing your money into it. But dude, you might be the next fucking Bill Gates.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah,
you
never know. And the firemen are talented at everything.
Everything, man.
There's a fireman that does something in every aspect of life. You have, we're traditionally blue collar workers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got firemen that are electricians, plumbers, HVAC, construction, welders, shed builders, shit, I don't even know. And every single one, and the success on all that shit is on you. You're not pouring in. I mean, that's the only thing. So, like, I've never been a huge stock market guy. That's something I've asked you a million questions about. To me, it was always scary because it's like I'm giving my money over to somebody I don't fucking know. I ain't got that much money, so I'm giving it over to this person to do what they want with it. That to me was always scary. So I didn't, I was not big into that. But as far as like businesses like this and everything, I've had the mowing business and all that. That shit is 100% on what you do.
Oh, absolutely.
You get out there, you get the yards, you get out there and mow the yards good. You keep the work, you keep the money. To me, that was always a real simple breakdown of that shit. And so I was always all about it. And I mean, I don't know how everybody else does it. Whenever you work for yourself and you're riding around mowing, you can drink beer while you're doing it too.
Yeah.
And then you're off when you want to be. You schedule your days out where you're doing your yards, whatever. You're off in time to go pick up the kids. Then you're home in the evening. You're not at another damn fire station doing another 24 somewhere to make $15 an hour, running 20 more calls and just burning yourself out that much more.
Exactly. And that's why, like, I, starting at a young age, like how I did, in the fire service. But, like, what are you going to do when you get it 30, when you're 40, or whenever you retire? Because, yeah, you have your pension there, but inflation's done went out the fucking roof.
Yeah.
So your pension's like fucking working at a gas station.
Yeah, your pension's worth half as much as it was.
So what are you going to do now?
Right.
But if you start a business, you get it going, you make it successful, and now I know that everyone can't do this and everyone won't do this. But I mean, if you have an idea, risk it. And because you have nothing to lose. You don't
have to jump out and do like $100,000 business idea. But I mean, if you have just something small, do a little small something that earns you an extra $100 a week. Find something that makes you extra $100 a week. Well, that $100 can then go towards your fuel and groceries rather than coming out of your payroll.
Mm-hmm.
If people start thinking about stuff like that, like you and I both, we talk about, we look at money as more or less like time worked and time gone.
Mm-hmm.
So like for us, say it's a shift is $300. Well, if we spend $300 on some shit, well, that's one more day gone from home.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you break it down like that, say you have a down $900 truck note, well, that's 3 whole days that you're working for nothing but that truck. In most departments, you're working 10. So that means 3 out of that 10 only pays for your truck. I mean, it's simple math, but people don't really look at it.
I know. We talked about this before, and
it's heartbreaking when you start and you become a husband, you become a father, all that, and you start really looking at that, and it's like you're destroyed.
Yeah,
because you're literally trading complete days away from the people that matter just for stuff.
Mm-hmm. And that's one thing, and and I quickly realized that me by myself, I would not be able to grow financially or as a person if I wasn't married. Me and my wife, she works hard, I work hard, but that's the only reason why I have all this. If it was for me, I'd probably still be partying, drinking, and throwing it all away. Because I'll eventually probably get to a point where I wouldn't want to save money no more because addicted to spend money and have nice things. So having her has definitely helped me out a lot as well.
For sure. Oh, I mean, that's to me the biggest. Well, I mean, honestly, for me the biggest pill. Yeah, but I mean, I was a pretty royal fuck up before my daughter came along.
No, me too.
And so to me, that was a huge pivotal point. And that's been kind of my anchoring point on a lot of stuff, the decisions that I've made throughout my adult life. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, being married and having somebody on your team.
Exactly.
That's like, hey, like all this money, invested in doing all this, your wife's totally on board. My wife's totally on board. I mean, you got to have that team at home. And I know a lot of guys don't have that.
No.
They shit can be completely miserable at home. Been there, done that. And it can be absolutely terrible. But, that's one thing is the less problems you can put on your at-home team. If finances is one of those, then that's something that you need to really kind of work on. Get out of the way because that's doing nothing but destroying that relationship that you can't have someone being supportive of you. I mean, I don't know. I kind of want to dive more into that.
Man, send it.
Just as far as just the whole fatherhood stuff, to me, yeah, the kids think it's cool that you're a firefighter. They'll go tell their friends at school, yeah, my dad's a firefighter. Like, that shit's cool. But they care more about you being there.
Mm-hmm.
They care more. They remember more of you being around than you'll ever be, being gone. And that's one of the biggest things. Like I regret as, my little one was younger. I was working the 2 and 3 full times, 3, part times, all that bullshit to pay for all this shit. And, I missed out on a lot of my little ones younger years. And now that I'm making better decisions on that, I'm around. Like when I have her, I'm off. And that's cool as shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to have all those experiences and memories that she gets to carry throughout her life. And that shit's important. And, a lot of guys out there, it's cool to be a fireman. You get the chicks as a fireman. Everybody knows that. You can pick up some ass, like no doubt. We're on this whole series about morals and manhood and shit, and like we've done it. Like, I've done it. I've chased ass, ran through the women, whatever, however the fuck you want to put it. Been there, done that shit. I did not have a problem going to the bar and picking one up and coming. I didn't go home alone. It was never a problem,
Yeah.
And so, but that don't make you a man.
No.
And I, as a society, I think we preach that a lot. And the older I get, the more I see it because, my kids are involved in all kinds of stuff. So I go to all this shit and, you're like, where are the dads? 9 out of 10 dads ain't there. For any, regardless of what it is, they're not there. And I'm not trying to condemn them because I understand there's financial responsibilities. Dad works off, especially like where we live. A lot of people are in the oil field.
Yeah.
So
you have to work off. There's no other choice.
The dads are, gone on their hitch at work or whatever, and they're not home. And I totally understand. I'm not knocking. But, as firefighters and stuff, we already are held to a little bit of a higher standard, obviously, morality wise. But what you got to understand is your kids want you around. And if you put yourself in a position because you think it's cool or whatever, that fucking and all this kind of shit is badass, which, it is. That's one of the great things about being a human is we get to enjoy that. That's literally one of the gifts that we were given. But if you become a dad, you got to be a dad. Mm-hmm. That bullshit's out the window. Mm-hmm. There's just this huge push in culture right now on the fucking aspect with shit on TV. Everybody sees in the fire stations is all this soap opera bullshit, and hooking up and whatever, and this and the other. And the old adage is cops beat and firefighters cheat, right? That's the old adage people used to say all the time about cops and firefighters if you date one or married one or whatever. Well, that ain't right.
No.
And that's come from somebody, I fucked up royally. Did a lot of shit that I ain't proud of, but it is what it is. I learned from it. It's not healthy, but I see these young guys around me all the time, man. They have, people come by the station and this, that, and the other. And it's like, man, y'all are going down a road that you really don't want to go down. Yeah. I'm not here to get super fucking preachy on anybody, but just know that you're setting yourself up for major failure.
Yeah, because these are brothers. We owe it to tell them.
Yeah, and Sean kind of alluded a little bit when he was talking about you put your guys on your crew in a bad position, especially if you're that married guy, because this happens a lot. Sadly, but it happens a lot. And hey, we're going to tell the fucking truth here. Guys are married, but they got chicks coming by the station. That's not cool.
No.
I personally, my belief is now that I'm older and I've matured a little bit and learned a lot. If you want to fuck, that's fine. If you're wanting to have fun and shit, go be single. Mm-hmm. Just fucking go be single. Don't bring, especially if you got your kids and shit, don't bring them through the ringer, or your spouse, because your spouse has been holding down the house.
Oh, absolutely.
While you're gone. Shit may not be happy home between y'all. Totally understand that. Y'all may not be jiving. You may not have been getting none from that one in a while. Mm-hmm. Well, there's a million different aspects of that I totally understand because more than likely I lived it. But you just have to understand that if you're still married, you are still in a commitment. Regardless of what today's society tries to fucking preach, you are still in a commitment. And if you're running around and shit, all you're doing is making yourself look like a fucking ass. And then on top of that, you're putting your crew in jeopardy, especially your fucking officer in jeopardy. Because if that shit blows up and that drama blows back on the station, like it can happen and most of the time does because spouses find out and people get fucking caught. Because I don't give a damn how good you are. You cannot hide that shit forever. Yeah. You cannot. It's going to put you in a position that officer is going to have to come down on your ass. It's either their job at that point or it's your fucking job. Mm-hmm. What do you think they're going to choose? They ain't taking heat. They weren't getting a piece of that pussy.
Yeah.
They ain't taking the fucking heat for that shit. Damn.
Well, not only that, we preach this brotherhood and sisterhood and shit. That guy's family is my family too.
Yeah.
How can I be such a hypocritical asshole to not, do what's right.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, completely. I mean, I talked a little bit on the last episode about how, you know, as a kid and stuff, I remember that family. Well, it's awful hard to have that fucking family connection. Everybody's going, you know, on the lake weekend trips as a crew on days off and shit. If, you know, I'm sitting next to you and then your wife, but I know that you've been fucking every night at the station, some other chick or whatever. Like, that's why the shit is completely fucking destroyed. On top of all the, you know, the snake and shit going on for motherfuckers that want promotions that don't deserve it. That kind of shit will destroy anything because how are you supposed to handle that? You're sitting here getting literally like the guilt's eating you up. You probably told your wife, and if your wife is anything like my wife, I'm about to tell her. I ain't fucking sitting here next to that motherfucker.
Yeah.
So you literally just have boom, nothing but drama. And you can't go out of town with that kind of shit. You know, you can't go on a trip or camping trip or fishing trip as a crew with that level of drama. And what did it all come down to? It all came down to you trying to get your fucking dick wet. I mean, that's as brutally fucking raw as it can get, but that's the damn truth.
You got to have enough respect for your guys, you know, not to do that, not to put them in that situation. I'm hoping you had enough respect for your wife and your kids not to do that, and
yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, like there's friends of mine, and I have all the fucking respect for them in the world because you know you can be a responsible and great dad. You know, through co-parenting.
Oh,
you can, absolutely. But I have some friends of mine, I have all the respect in the fucking world for them because, you know, they got somebody pregnant and they straight up told them, like, I don't want to get married because I'm going to fucking cheat on you. I'm not done running around. I'm still having fun. I will help you raise this child and you will have, you know, want for nothing. This child will have want for nothing.
Yeah.
We will co-parent and everything, but, you know, I know that if we get together and get married, then it will not be healthy.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm cool with that. That's fucking honesty.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking honesty. And that leads me into the other aspect of that. In case people don't realize, having sex creates children. Because I think there's a lot of fucking people that obviously did not take sex ed in school or their parents were too chicken shit to have that conversation with them. If you fucking, there is a possibility for a child. If you make a child, that shit is your fucking responsibility.
Absolutely.
That does not mean pawning it off on somebody else. That does not mean chicken shitting your way out of stuff. That is your fucking responsibility. I can't tell you, you know, the people that we go to, you know, anything with these kids and you're there and the dad ain't there or whatever. And it's all that. And it's like, but they'll be the first ones that want to bitch about what the fuck's wrong with society. Well, what's wrong with society is the dads are absent. Why are the dads absent? Because they're out making another kid with somebody else. And that shit's hitting the fire service too.
Oh, yeah. It 100% is. Because when you hear stories, you know, you get on Reddit and hear all this fucked up shit. And I'm just a curious person, so I just read up people's stories. And it's pretty, I've heard other people talk about it because at the kitchen table, what is there? Gossip.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you hear what everyone's going through, man. It's just, man, motivates me to live my life right.
No shit, man. No shit.
You know what I mean?
And I mean, that's a maturity thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a maturity thing. I didn't get that till I was probably in my late 20s.
Mm.
I started really trying to, you know, put puzzle pieces together and figure that kind of shit out. And I got to the realization, man, that 30 minutes of fun ain't fucking worth it, man. It's not worth ruining your career, ruining your fucking kid's life, ruining your marriage, because you know with that shit comes divorce, and we'll talk about being broke. Ain't nobody ever been more broke than somebody going through a divorce. I'm just here to fucking tell you. I mean, that shit is no fun. And it's like, you know, what was the point? And you see it happen time and time and time again. And then but people want to be the first ones to preach, you know, the brotherhood, the fire service, and all this, that, and the other. And I can't tell you the fucking stories, and even people that we personally know. Firefighters fucking another firefighter's wife. What the fuck?
Dude, you just got to be a fucked up individual for that.
I mean, you can't even, there's no justification for that. I don't give a damn what anybody even says. There's no justification for it. And, you know, we fucking laugh on this show. It's like, we're going to talk about shit motherfuckers don't want to hear. Well, this is some of the shit motherfuckers don't want to hear. If you're doing that shit, you might as well just fucking walk up and cut your partner's fucking throat. Because that would at least be more manly decision than fucking Snapchatting his wife behind his fucking back and like all this shit. I mean, it fucking blows my mind. But you're supposed to rely on that person to have your back inside a fucking fire. I mean,
dude, it's so hypocritical, man.
It is.
There's probably nothing worse.
No, there's not. I mean, there's really not. I can fucking tolerate the motherfuckers with the fucking promotion bullshit more than I can that.
Yeah.
I mean, because you are fucking up kids' lives. You're fucking up complete finances. You're totally fucking it up. I mean, all this shit for you to get your fucking dick wet. I mean, I want people to really like put your pride and all that shit aside or whatever and your funness and your excitement from the fucking hormone dump that you get from doing that shit and just really fucking think about what kind of shit you're creating.
That's not after you nut.
Yeah, no shit. No shit. I mean, it's just wrong.
Yeah.
It's just fucking wrong. No matter how you cut it, no matter which way you cut it, you could say, well, this person did this. You point the fucking finger at everybody else, but at the end of the day, you did it.
Mm-hmm.
You fucking did it. And I mean, if you did it and you fucking learned your lesson, whatever, good for you, because I understand everybody grows, and I'm not condemning anyone that's willing to grow, but if you're like, fuck it, I didn't do nothing wrong, you got a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a fucking problem. You're wrecking lives. And I have no tolerance for it. And I just really hope that as a fire service, we get out of this mentality of it just having to be about the fun and the fucking excitement.
Well, it's selfish behavior.
Completely.
Yeah, it's nothing more selfish than that. And you're selfish in that aspect. You're gonna be selfish in everything.
Right.
Right. And so I'm like you. I have zero tolerance for it. Yeah. How you want me to respect you as a man for doing some shit like that? No, dude, you're fucking to me about on the par with the devil. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
And it's just like, don't ask me for anything. For one thing, I'm gonna tell you how it is. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you where I stand, and try to be able to work with you. It'd be hard.
Oh, completely. I mean, like,
and I'm not saying that cheating with other people, it's just fireman deal, but it's different. If you're cheating with another fireman's wife that you're working with, it just hits different.
It does hit different. There's no denying that. All of it's wrong.
Yeah.
But that hits on a different level of morality. Mm-hmm. It does. It blows my mind, but people want to preach, well, where's the brotherhood? There's no brotherhood, all this shit. But at the same time, we have that kind of shit going on. And it's happening to every fucking department. Like, I guarantee you, everybody listening to this knows someone at their department that fucked around at the station with somebody, or fucked around with somebody else they work with, wife or spouse, whatever. Like, guaranteed it's happening at every fucking station. And, how can you have that trust? Like, I remember as a kid, mm-hmm. It was probably one of the first real memories I had. I was probably like 3 or 4 years old, maybe a little bit older, but somewhere when I was real young. And, the water heater busted in the house. So dad was gone, whatever, and he was at work. So he called this is way before cell phones, but he called the Station 1 right there. We lived in that district. Talked to them, hey, can you go over there and help my wife? They come over there, brought the squeegees from the fucking station and came over there and squeegeed all the work. We had tile floor, squeegeed all the water out. My mom, they didn't have 2 cents to rub together back then. And, she was all hysterical and everything because, the water heater busted and they didn't have the money to buy new. It was struggling times. Mm-hmm. They were young in their marriage. They'd probably been married 5-6 years, when I was 4 or 5 years old, whatever. They're sitting there and the guys are hugging her. It's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. We're going to get this mess cleaned up. Everything's fine. Not a once did any kind of fucked up thought cross my dad's mind about, oh shit, the guy do that now.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you right now, there's a bunch of motherfuckers that I've worked with that I wouldn't let them within a fucking earshot of my wife. Because they wouldn't give a damn. Like, they wouldn't give a shit. This is the kind of guys that, like, your wife comes up there for a fucking Christmas banquet and then she leaves and goes home later that night, and they're fucking adding her on Facebook and fucking DMing her. That kind of shit.
Oh, dude, I'll lose my fucking mind.
Well, I mean, seriously, but then I have a friend of mine, that happened. His own lieutenant grabbed his wife's ass at the fucking Christmas banquet. He beat the fuck out of his lieutenant. Then he was the one in trouble. He got fucking fired from the fire department for beating the lieutenant's ass for grabbing his wife's ass. after the whole night that, they were drinking, whatever. But that whole night he's making comments like, bro, your fucking wife is smoking. Like, I'm going to hit that, blah, blah, blah. And the guy's like, dude, fucking back off, back off, back off. Well, he fucking had enough. He touched his wife. He wrapped his ass. And then he's the one in trouble.
Yes.
Like, tell me where the fuck we're twisted on that shit.
I'd have killed him.
Oh, I'm fucking right there with you. Right there with you. I think it's funny, too, because I think that's why motherfuckers don't be fucking with my wife, because they already know, like, I ain't fucking crossing that. Like, there's no amount of fucking mountains that I will move in. Fuck you. But, like, where are we as a culture in the fire service that kind of shit is acceptable and fucking basically damn approved of by the chiefs because they discipline the wrong guy. But we're sit there at the same time. It's like, oh, well, damn. That wasn't even that long ago. That was probably 1995 when that incident happened with, my parents in the water heater shit. 95 now, 20 years. And we've completely run this motherfucker into ground on a morality basis as far as for family and sexual desires and however you want to put that shit. Whatever label you want to put on the motherfucker. But basically what it's come down to is guys ain't got their dick in their pants. They're thinking with the wrong fucking hand.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. But it's a culture, society, everything. Like, dude, hell, even in my short time of living and seeing social media stuff, like, now you got all these girls and other guys just acting like everything's sexual. Like, they barely wear anything on Instagram. They wear them thong bikinis that are so far up their cooter that you can't even see it.
Yeah, then they got like 30 million goddamn followers.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you look on Twitter, dude, it's just nothing but people talking about sex and stuff. It's just being saturated in our society. It
is. But how are you supposed to? It's one thing in that aspect, but it's another thing in your family.
Oh, yeah.
And I look at everything because I'm, relatively simple individual. So I look at everything on a simple basis. Mm-hmm. And if that's your family and they're, that's supposed to, your fire family and your family is all supposed to be integrated into one. So now we're family. So that's incest, ain't it? Yeah. That's how I look at shit. That'd be no different than, like a guy looking at my daughter. It's, to me, it's all just fucked. And I don't know how to really get ahead of it aside from just pointing it out, exposing it. That's what the fuck is going on.
Maybe someone that listen to this, they've been that guy and they feel a little bit of guilt.
Yeah, people are going to have to take self accountability. That is what it's going to have to come down to, and policing your own. That we started this podcast to essentially police our own because nobody else is doing it. So that is what we're doing. We're calling it out. Stop with the fucking shit. Mm-hmm. It's not worth your little 30 minutes. I don't care if you're fucking Superman. You got, big dick status and you last for 4 fucking hours because you're a super fucker. I don't give a damn. 4 hours is not fucking worth wrecking 2 families.
No.
However you want to cut it, that is the fucking truth. Most of you little fuckers, you probably only like 30-second long little fucking short strokes anyway. But you talk all your big game on Snapchat. Yeah. Fucking. But shit, I get fucking mad behind the shit. For one, I don't want to put it as a victim, but I had motherfuckers in my previous marriage, people I fucking work with, messaging and shit like that. And I fucking shut the shit down then. But I'm like, now, fuck y'all. Like, fuck all y'all. I'm not even going to play that shit. Mm-hmm. Like, even on, at all. I tell you one thing I do. I think it's funny as shit. Motherfucker that tries to add my wife or something or send some shit on Snapchat, I fucking send him a picture of the Batwing.
Oh, give it to him.
Fuck yeah. I'm just a dickhead. But you got to do that kind of shit. And then fucking call the motherfucker out. Like, straight call him
out. In front of people.
Yeah.
Embarrass him. If he's steeping that low, shit.
I don't necessarily, being in the plant, we don't have a kitchen table anymore, but like sitting at the fucking kitchen table on a fire station, you're sitting there, you're like, hey, Kev, I got a question to ask such. Yeah, what you got? Hey, man, you think it's cool to fucking message my wife last night? Watch that motherfucker turn white. Watch him turn white. Start doing that kind of shit. That goes along with what we've been preaching, having a spine. we use the drastic examples of somebody breaking in your house or somebody trying, mess with your wife or kids at the grocery. We use these drastic examples, but that shit is just as real.
Yeah.
That's probably going to happen
way more
often, than somebody breaking into your house or whatever. I don't want anybody breaking anybody's house, but that's a possibility of somebody messaging your wife. It doesn't even have to be a fireman. Stand up for your wife. Stand up for your marriage. You do that little shit like that, and then you know how the group text shit works. The fire station, man, that shit would be 30 seconds. Everybody in the goddamn department would know.
Oh yeah,
bro, fucking Gunner just called out such and such on and in front of Captain, fucking everything about him messaging his wife. Oh shit, well, we know Gunner ain't the one to try to sneak around his back. You start doing that shit, everybody start doing that shit. Who is there to fuck up? The problem is fixed. But we've gotten in such a society of men that refuse to fucking go and talk. Everybody either wants to, run to the chief or think that somebody else is going to. Nobody's coming. Nobody's going to fix your fucking problems. We, as Americans, we're badass because we were the fucking problem fixers of the world. We fixed everybody else's problems. Well, in the meantime, we forgot to start fixing our own. Mm-hmm. And we've lost the ability for people to just go have a fucking, like, it ain't got it. I'm not saying go punch a motherfucker in the mouth right off the gate. I mean, if you want to, that kind of warrants it in my opinion, but just have a conversation. Mm-hmm. Be like, hey man, that shit ain't cool. Like, I don't care what your intentions were. I don't care if you just no, don't. Mm-hmm. Don't fucking hit my wife up. Don't try to fucking talk to my wife. Shit like that. I don't think that's too dangerous.
No, absolutely not. And I mean, your wife's going to respect you. The guys at the station's going to respect you for doing that. I mean, at least I would.
Oh, for sure.
I gain probably a lot of respect for you because it shows me that right now you're a pretty morally strong individual. Mm-hmm. And your wife will love it. She'll probably come home and fuck you real good.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's another little aspect of this shit. I'm glad you said that. Guys are so hung up on, really as a society, but I mean, it hits in the fire service too, which we do have a little bit of a beneficial factor because we're firefighters. Mm-hmm. So you automatically have at this point in time, guys keep fucking up and screwing women over, and it ain't going to be a good thing. But as of right now, you kind of have the cards in your favor as far as for women and stuff. Quit just run. I mean, you don't have to freaking act a complete fool on the shit. Mm. Like, if you're a strong, moral-driven man, the women will be there. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, if you are one of these guys that's looking for the right one to actually have a real life with, I know your wife, my wife, they appreciate those qualities about us. Mm-hmm. If we was like little fuckboy status guys,
oh, my wife would have never talked to me.
Never.
Well, I was then, so I don't know what attracted her to me then, but.
Well, it was your morals, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, if we asked her whatever, it'd be the fact, like, you might have been still having fun. I was wild, yeah. Yeah, but you were still you.
Yes, absolutely.
You were a strong man. And that's what people really need is this whole major push of just being like spineless and going with the flow and just being yes men to everything. That is not attractive to women. Mm-hmm. They may act like they like it for like a moment because you buy them fucking everything they want, or they fucking need this and you cater to them and just all this fucking shit all the time. You're just a yes man all the time. Long term, they don't want that. Mm-hmm. Women do not want that. I mean, it's shown. We're kind of, I feel like we're at a cultural swing where that it's kind of going, but time and time again, the guy that's, I'm not saying be a complete douchebag, nothing like that, but the guy that stands his moral ground, is a good moral compass, a fucking kingly type mindset and stuff. That's what women are fucking, that's what they're attracted to, which is kind of why they like firefighters, because firefighters are supposed to be morally driven badasses that risk their lives to save others, and that's attractive to them. Mm-hmm. Whereas, they're not attracted to some fucking little
SoundCloud rapper.
Yeah, plebe motherfucker that, doesn't do shit and is just like, just a complete weakling, essentially.
Yeah.
That is why they're attracted to firefighters. And guys just don't understand. Like, you don't have to, you need to have a spine at work for damn sure. But at home, just be strict on your morals and strict on your principles, and the right woman will come along, or
Yeah.
women in general, depending on, I mean, I don't know
Whatever
what
they're gonna
everybody's
do,
motive, but that's what women like.
Yeah.
You know, and going into the fatherhood stuff, uh, we're with this movement, we're trying to fix the next generations of the fire service, but as a whole, as a society and everything, as American men, we have to be good fathers. You know, setting a good example. I know you don't have any kids yet and everything. But, you know, for me, like one of my biggest goals is my kids know exactly what I stand for, exactly who I am in every aspect. I'm not perfect by any means, and I do a lot of shit that, I might say too many cuss words, stuff like that around my kids, whatever. That's that's my faults as a person, this that, and the other. But I stand true to who I am around my kids. They know whenever I'm at home, I'm the same way I'm at home than I am at work. You know, there's little things like I got really, really excited. We went to, the college football game this weekend and watched the oldest perform. She's in high school, and she went and performed with the college. They did like a junior musicians thing for the band, march out on the field and play that. And it was just like so fucking cool. I mean, it was almost like emotionally cool. Like you're so happy that you have like all these emotions start churning up because you're so fucking happy for your kids. Like that shit, that's because I was there. You know, if I'm not there, then I don't get to experience that. They don't get to have me there. You know, she came off the field and smiling ear to ear. It was cool. She was hooked.
Yeah.
You know, totally fucking hooked. And
you have to love to see that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, and it even goes back to last year. We took my whole family. My dad retired, and so we took the whole family a huge trip to Disney. First time all, and we got nothing but girls. It's a fucking island of damn girls around here. My brother's got girls. I've got girls. We go to Disney, and we're at the Magic Kingdom. You know, the big castle and all the princesses and just all the shit. Man, I can't even tell you the amount of just overwhelming emotions that you have when you get to see the little parade stuff. Then they do the big fireworks show at night and all this stuff. And just, man, these girls just, it'll make you want to cry.
Yeah.
Because you're just so fucking overwhelmed with how happy these kids are. That's what being a dad is. Like, it's not the act of fucking and making them. That's the dad part. It's the being there.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't buy them the world, especially as a fireman. You can't buy them the world, but being there, you know, when they're playing ball and they strike out, you're there. When they hit a home run, you're there. That's being a dad. We do the rodeo thing, and there's times, I got 3 girls at rodeo. There's times they go over there and knock down barrels, and they come out of the alleyway and they're upset, and you're there for them for that. It's like, hey, it's fine. You'll get another run at it. This isn't the last one. And then, getting to be in the back with them, getting them pumped up and calmed down at the same time, because you're fucking nervous, because that's the most nerve-wracking shit, because you're about to send them off on this fucking fast-ass giant animal. A lot of people don't know about what horses are like, but they're just pure power. And you're sending your kid in there hauling ass, and it's basically strapping them to the fucking hood of a damn drag car. I mean, that's what it feels like. And, you're sending them in there for that. So you're fucking nervous as shit. But you're nervous for them. And then like half the time, honestly, I'm like, oh my God, I wish it was just me going and running this shit for them. But you're pumping them up and giving them the guidance, do this and make sure, you're keeping this. But at the same time, you're like, but you're okay. You're fine. Just fucking breathe. Like, you're good. Calm down. Just keep your head clear and this, that, and the other. And so you're just going through all that kind of shit. But of that whole fucking run, whether they do good or whether they do bad, they may win a buckle. They may win money, may win a check. But they remember you as a dad being back there.
Yeah.
They won't remember jack shit else. They remember that dad was back there. Now, I'll tell you what they damn sure remember is when they go out there and they make their run and you weren't there. That's the stuff that, like, as a dad, it doesn't matter how much money you make. Like, I want everybody to be successful and make the money they need to be able to provide those things for their kids. But I mean, just a little shit like that, that's what being a dad is. And I've had to learn that the hard way. Like I said,
Mm.
I missed a lot of the young years of mine. Um, and I'm doing everything I can to make up for it now. And now with the baby coming along, it's going to be even better because I'm going to actually, basically be a better dad for her on that aspect because I'll be here from her from birth and everything.
With a more healthy relationship and
for
stuff
sure.
like that.
Yeah, and the finances, on lock and all that kind of stuff. So, and that's taking maturity and age, which that can be a little learning point for a lot of guys. Be smart. When you're having sex, and be smart about the shit. I don't feel like I should have to say that, but at this point in time, with the amount of people I'm seeing running around knocking people up, apparently y'all missed the whole shit about smart sex. But I mean, you got to do something. Mm-hmm. If you're not ready to sacrifice to have all those moments to actually be there and be that productive dad, then you damn sure better be. Mm-hmm. Either that or when it does come along, grow the fuck up. Yeah. Grow the fuck up and be a dad. I don't care if you like the chick that's the mama or not. Hire a fucking lawyer. That's the best thing I can tell you. Hire a good lawyer, but get your shit locked in where you're around that child. That child needs you as a dad. And as firefighters, the community fucking needs you. Your brothers in the station need you. Your kids need you too.
Yeah. No, don't have kids and stuff, which I had great parents. My dad was always there. My mom was always there. They had their little fights here and there, but, all in all, it was a very good childhood. We didn't take a lot of trips like, that I plan to with my kids whenever I have them. Like a lot. We did a few things, but, we really had a good life. And I don't have kids, so I really can't speak on much on that perspective, but whatever you're saying sounds right. So,
yeah. Well, we were at that rodeo yesterday. Yeah. And I was sitting there with my dad in the bleachers. We're waiting on the events were changing and stuff. I was sitting there talking to my dad, and I was talking to him about this stuff. And, my dad was an awesome dad, but he worked a lot because, my parents didn't have shit. My mom was a brand new school teacher, and, there wasn't that much money coming in. So, dad worked 2 or 3 jobs and all this kind of stuff. And, sad to say it, but I remember the stuff that dad wasn't at. Mm-hmm. Which, it is what it is. Like, I don't fault him because shit, that's real life. That's fucking real life. That's as real as it gets. But I remember that stuff. And I had a great childhood. I got to do a lot of stuff, played baseball all over the fucking world. Mm-hmm. We were on a ton of select teams and all that kind of stuff, played football, just all the sports, basketball, you name it. I was playing it, traveled all over, did a lot of travel ball and everything, rodeo and stuff like that myself. But, I do remember stuff that dad couldn't be at because he was having to work to pay for us to be there. Mm-hmm. That was the reality of it. And so I was talking to him about this stuff and kind of venting my frustrations to him about dads that aren't there. And or don't even fucking try and shit like that. And he looked at me yesterday. He said, there's nothing worse on this fucking planet than a useless man.
No, I agree.
And I was just like, damn. That's my dad, mm-hmm. Telling me that. And I know what his definition of a useless man, but that's the fucking truth. And really that's everything that we're talking about here. You have to have the principles and morals, and that goes along with every aspect. And I really hope that people really start just kind of taking a look in the mirror. If you are a dad and you've made mistakes and stuff like that, it's never too late.
No.
Like, it's never too late to correct that action. If you're married and your shit ain't on par, I can't say if it's too late on that. I know what vows are, and I believe in marriage vows and stuff like that. So, if you did that, then it's not too late on that aspect either. I wouldn't think, unless you already in the process of divorce. That's to each his own, all that kind of stuff. But going into the next phase of your life, start making better choices. Mm-hmm. And that
own up to it and go from there.
I worked for a guy one time, long time ago. And he told me this, and shit, I was probably maybe 18 or 19 years old. And at the time I was like, yeah, whatever. But he told me, he's like, man, everybody that you sleep with, their problems become He's like, so just think about that. It's like, damn. And he's like, because it don't matter what it is. You fuck them, their drama becomes your drama.
That's true.
It's so fucking
I've been
true.
in that position.
It's so true. And I was just like, God, like now looking back, because he knew this was back when I was way young. Yeah, 18, 19 years old. I was wide ass fucking open. Was not living right. Was not clean. And was having a hell of a lot of fun. But he told me that shit, and I was like, all right. I did just, I was drinking and messing around with the drugs and the pills and just fucking pretty wild.
Yeah.
But he said that to me, and I was just like, damn. And I think if a lot of people knew that, like really truly knew that, like every single person that you sleep with, their drama becomes your drama because, the Facebook, and this is really shit. Facebook was in its infancy. Like if you weren't in a college campus, like college circle, you weren't on Facebook. So this is pre all that shit too. And it was still at that level. So now it's 1,000 times that, you're sleeping around with such and such. Well, it's on Facebook and this person gets caught up. Well, then somebody fucking tags you in it and just,
because you're always being watched.
Ooh, always.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I can't really discourage this because there is aspects of life, but people just need to really understand that being a man doesn't mean how many people have you slept with.
No, absolutely.
Being a man, really, now looking back, that doesn't even mean like have you gotten laid yet. Like I know I listened to that Shia LaBeouf interview that he did, and he's been through the fucking ringer on some shit. He definitely went wild there for a while, and it is what it is and all that stuff. And he's doing everything he can do to make amends. But he was really talking there for a little bit about as a culture and as a society, we don't really define a man. He was saying like in the Spartans and shit, they taught them war and like they really went through a badass regiment of how to become a man. Well, yeah, in the United States, what is a man? Does it mean that you're not a virgin anymore? He was saying that, for him and his society where he grew up in his environment, you weren't a man until you went to prison or jail, whatever. It wasn't until you did that, then you were a man. It's like, damn, that's fucked. So there's no clear, and I don't really know how we can fix that besides just exposing that, because people need to understand, as a lot of younger men are coming up and stuff, it's just fucking lost. Like they have no real direction. And you have a firefighter coming in, their only direction in life is, I'm a firefighter. There's no, it's not like they can go buy a damn house. If you do, then you're either financed through the fucking roof or whatever. There's just no clear, concise direction for a lot of these guys coming up on what an actual real, healthy, principle-driven man is. And that's what I hope that we're able to define throughout this shit.
Yeah, dude, and each culture is different, and we're a country of every culture, and so, I think it rubs into a lot of friction there, because everyone's got their different beliefs and whatnot. I think it's best way to look at it is look at your religious beliefs and go based off that, because then you have different cultures and different entities in one religion, and they can kind of make their rule. The rules should be set for us, but for the others, non-Christian religions, they can make the rules for them, whatever they do.
Right.
But I think that's what we probably need to be, reflective of, is what Jesus and God sees as a man. Yeah. It's displayed in Scripture on how we should be. It's talked about, and we just might not want to hear it, but it's talked about.
Yeah.
But and I think it's complicated.
It's very
because it's hard. We're human, and it's hard for us to align to a lot of things because we're not perfect. And so, it's pretty much my viewpoint on that.
I got you. Well, man, you got anything else?
Yeah, man, that was good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that.
Really touch on those little subjects, because that to me seems like some really prevalent deals, especially as far as in the household.
Yeah, absolutely.
That guys need to look at or get a hold of, or however you want to look at it. But anyway, if you don't have anything else, man,
shut it down.
All right. Well, y'all be sure and give us a share on Facebook. Go join the Tailboard Misfits Facebook group. We got the apparel coming out. We have several other business ventures that are coming out. YouTube channel is coming up. This new video podcast is pretty fucking awesome. We're pretty excited about this all coming out. So yeah, y'all give us a like on Facebook, share everything, start getting the word out.
Come talk to us,
message us, talk to us, questions you have, ideas you have. I mean, put it out there. This is a collective movement. I mean, it's not just
it's not about us. It's not about him. It's not about me. It's all of us. We're all in it together.
Everybody, and the stories and stuff that have already started coming in and everything. We've been able to interact with people, and that's really what we want. We're trying to build a movement. I mean, everybody that feels like they're a misfit is welcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, anyways, we'll see y'all on the next one.
See you.